Welcome to the BRASH Sports St. Patrick's Day Special, presented with limited commercial interruptions by Irish Car Bombs, because only a nerd would want to remember St. Patrick's Day. I'm Josh. I'm joined here with my best friend Brandon, and we've got a lot of stuff to get into because we've been off for the last couple weeks. We got to play catch up. It's a holiday that's pretty near and dear to our hearts. Back in the day, we used to have a lot of fun romping around town on St. Patrick's Day, collecting beads from all the local bars and just getting shit-faced hammered. So Brandon, why don't you go ahead and take us down memory lane for all of our St. Patrick's Day shenanigans?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just spend an hour talking about all of them.
We'll start off with St. Paddy's 2010.
Yeah, and the funny thing is every story would be like, I don't remember that. I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
I know. I just threw out 2010 because I assumed that was probably a year where we went hard in the paint for St.
There's
Paddy's
one
Day.
year we went harder than others, but yeah, dude, a lot of forgotten memories on St. Patrick's Day. But that's
what it's
they're
there
supposed
for.
to be. That's what it's there for. You wear green, you get shitty, you wander about town, you almost die, you almost get arrested. It's a fun time, and it comes once a year, and it's always a blast.
Brash's first St. Patrick's Day special,
Which is surprising.
It does feel a little odd, Josh, that we are having a St. Patrick's Day special without a beer mug right in our hands. But
Yeah.
we discussed it earlier that, look, we're recording this early in the day. We got shit we have to do today. So we can't just completely throw this day away. Ideally it'd be fun to actually record it, like, in the evening. We could have a few beers, have a few laughs, but it just didn't time out this time. But hey, there's always room for improvement for 2025 St. Patrick's Day special. So
I agree. And I think that when we do it next, ideally we do it in person and we just get absolutely hammered and let the cameras run and let the mics pick up what they pick up. And
no editing whatsoever.
No editing. Just throw everything
Raw
in
footage.
there. Raw footage of us just blathering on like idiots. It'll be great. It'll be great content.
So it's a relatively short episode for a St. Patrick's Day special, Josh. We don't have a whole lot to get into other than free agency. It started this past week. A lot of big moves. They were coming thick and fast early in the week, and then things kind of slowed down towards the end of the week. But yeah, we'll just brush over the most notable moves, so to speak, and thought it'd be fun if we shared our biggest surprise through free agency. The one that we just simply did not see coming, or just doesn't make sense seeing this player wear those particular colors, which will end up proving to be the best or most successful free agent exchange, and which one will be in the opposite side, which one will actually is just doomed for failure. That one's actually hard to come up with. I just had to throw something out there. So we'll take a look back after the season and see how that really held up, because I'm sure I'm going to reverse jinx all of these.
Yeah, that's a great call. I'm going to have to look back on this episode when the season starts and say, all right, Brandon said that this move would be not impactful. Put some money on that person.
Yep.
Yeah. Put money on that person who will go to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. Pick him up on your fantasy squad. Okay, so you want to get the list going? I mean, I have a few noted here. Yeah. I know you had a little bit more listed. So if there's anything maybe perhaps you left out, which I doubt, because I don't know. I mean, I just did this very quickly. Again, we are just getting back in the swing of things. All right, so no judgments. But yeah, I started out with running backs because a guy who is very near and dear to my heart as a Giants fan. Seeing him go to the Eagles was really, really heartbreaking. I mean, I would have loved to see him go to the AFC. I would have loved to see him go to a contender. Like, I thought the Chargers would be a really good fit for him, especially because they were getting rid of Austin Eckler. And, Harbaugh loves to run the ball. And there were talks about it, right? So I thought him going to the Chargers would be great because he'd be on the other side of the country. He's a different conference. I don't even know if we play the Chargers this year, but even if we did, it's not going to be a super impactful game. So that one
kind of broke my heart a little bit. I hate seeing Saquon go to the Eagles. Derrick Henry to the Ravens was a pretty big one in my mind, because the Ravens, again, another Harbaugh smash mouth football, and he's a smash mouth guy. Yeah, Josh Jacobs going to Green Bay, basically they got rid of Aaron Jones, who ended up at the Vikings, and brought in Josh Jacobs. I think that could be a big move, getting a little younger. And Josh Jacobs was unbelievable a couple years ago. He didn't play great last year. I think there were some issues with the Raiders, but now that he's got a fresh start and a contract.
I did look up his numbers from last season. Not that bad, actually.
No, not terrible. Not terrible. Yeah. I think we drafted him very high in fantasy, so we were expecting a lot more of him. But no, they weren't bad. I think he went over 1,000 yards, or at least got close to it.
It was almost 900 yards, but still, okay. I mean,
not terrible for a running back nowadays. Not bad. But Aaron Jones to the Vikings, and then Tony Pollard to the Titans, which was kind of I didn't really see that one coming.
Cowboys are stupid for letting him slip away.
I agree.
Good.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. In quarterback news, we had Baker re-signing in Tampa, which I think most of us saw coming. Not exactly a free agent move, but I think definitely a good move for Tampa. He's a good fit there. Staying in the same division, Kirk Cousins, and probably the splashiest, biggest free agent news, Kirk Cousins going to the Falcons. Did not see that one coming. We did kind of go over where we thought quarterbacks would land, and I just thought Kirk Cousins was way too white for the Vikings, but Matt Ryan did play there for years. For the Falcons.
Yeah.
No, he's perfect whiteness for the Vikings. But, you had to remind me, Matt Ryan was there for years, probably longer than Michael Vick, but I still, when I picture Falcons quarterbacks, I picture black running backs running around. And that's just racism on my part, and I apologize, but the Kirk Cousins move there, I didn't really see coming, but definitely the splashiest move. Just right behind it, though, Russell Wilson to the Steelers. Big move, dude. Big move. They upgraded big, and they got, Kenny Pickett's out of town too. That happened like last night or this morning. I don't know. I saw it today. So, dude, some big moves happening with quarterbacks. On the wide receiver front, Mike Evans re-signed with Tampa Bay. T. Higgins re-signed with the Bengals, but then requested a trade. So we'll see where he ends up.
He was franchise tagged.
Oh, he was tagged.
Yeah. They tagged that ass. They tagged that ass. He didn't like that one bit.
Ass. No, players don't really like the franchise tag. I don't know. That's a little too complicated. When we finally get Schefter on the show, we'll have him explain how all of that works. We've been reaching out to him, but he has not agreed to come on the show and break all this stuff down. So fucking coward. So we'll continue to be uneducated and still just blurting it out as if we know what we're talking about. We had Calvin Ridley to the Titans, another move that was like kind of a head scratcher, like did not see that coming. And then Keenan Allen going from the Chargers to the Bears. That one was kind of surprising. Did I miss any, Brand? I feel like I'm missing some from wide receivers or from just offensive side of the ball. Did I miss any running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers?
Now, speaking of the wide receivers, you just reminded me about Mike Williams, who got released. Did anybody ever scoop him up, or is he still floating
he's still
around?
Out there. He is still floating around, which is surprising because, he can't stay healthy, but when he is healthy, he's a beast.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like these days it's more common to not play a full 17-game schedule than it is. It's hard to stay healthy in this sport, man. It is. It's brutal out there. But no, I mean, wide receiver, you did pretty good. Everyone, the quote unquote experts out there made a big deal of Patrick Queen going from the Ravens to the Steelers. He's a linebacker.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, sorry, buddy. So you were just stopping short at the wide receivers, and then you were going to move on from there.
Offense, right? Let me see if I missed anybody on the offensive side of the ball, because I kind of ran through those fast. I didn't know if I missed anybody.
Well, there's one, but it's one that I wanted to talk about when we talk about our.
Okay. All right. Save it. On the defensive side of the ball, Chris Jones re-signing with the Chiefs, big move. They needed to do that. The other Josh Allen re-signed with Jacksonville. He's a monster, so that's good for them. Daniil Hunter from the Vikings to the Texans was, to me, a huge move. The Texans are having a sneaky, really good free agent. Dude, and I think both of us said in our bold predictions they would take a step back and miss the playoffs, and they were listening. They heard us saying,
hey, there's still chance for that, okay?
There is. Of course there is. Everyone knows that, this is not the end all be all, but I think they were listening. They were motivated. They made some really good moves, in my opinion.
They did. They hung on to a couple guys that were about to hit the market. They're both guys that I wanted on my team. So I'm kind of pissed they were able to do that.
I think they're having a great off season so far. And then the last one I'll bring up is Brian Burns to the Giants, a move that I loved, having lived in Carolina for a few years. Seeing Brian Burns just kind of become one of the quietest potential superstars in the NFL. Like, he's really fucking good. I've always admired him. I've always liked his body of work in Carolina forever. He was the only good player on the team, and the Giants went in and got him. So I'm very excited about that. Patrick Queen was one that, the experts are saying that it's a great move. I don't know. Sure, I'll take their word for it. Any others that I missed on the defensive side of the ball, B?
You said you watched the Panthers. What do you know anything about this Frankie Louvu guy that the Skins inked? I mean, I had never heard of him, but a lot of people are giving it a good grade. I mean, from what I've seen, there's like a B plus, and I think that's a big deal for Redskins fans because we know desperate for linebackers. We need as much depth as possible. So for them to get who apparently is a pretty solid young linebacker in Frankie Louvu, and then picking up a Pro Bowler, older vet, more of a leader in the locker room, and Bobby Wagner. He signed to a 1-year deal. I think it's it's just quality depth that they're building at the linebacker spot. Nothing really sticks out outside of that. You just said on the defensive side in general, correct? Yeah, I got nothing. I mean, nothing else really. Nothing too interesting. Nothing big in the to me in the safeties or corners. I was a little bummed that we let Cam Curl go. But who gives a shit? I mean, obviously, if you were that good, they probably would have re-signed him. Kendall Fuller is another one. He ended up leaving us and going to the Dolphins.
I did see that one, yeah.
But I think we got plenty of draft picks. So
that's good. I also love, if we're sticking to our teams, I love what the Giants are doing. We've signed like 4 offensive linemen and Brian Burns, like focusing on rebuilding our fucking trenches, which are just a disaster. And, everyone's like, oh, well, you guys need a wide receiver. Okay, that's fine. We can draft one. We can whatever. I actually like our young guys. I think they're better than they get credit for because our quarterback play has been so bad. But yeah, dude, solidifying that O-line, improving our D-line. Can't go wrong there, dude. That's how you build champions. You heard it here first. Giants last place in the division.
Get your Super Bowl tickets now.
All right. So, Brandon, do you want to kick us off with your most surprising, most impactful, and most likely to fail?
Yeah. My most surprising, and I think this is just because I have been, for whatever reason, I've just been a huge fan of this player ever since he showed up onto the scene, and he's throughout his years in the NFL, he's always been a staple of my fantasy squads, and that's Aaron Jones, the running back for the Green Bay Packers. You did touch on earlier. He's leaving, but staying in the division, and he's going to be playing for the Minnesota Vikings. It just doesn't seem right to play for the rivals like that. I can't picture Aaron Jones in purple. Like, that's just one that's a mind bender. I can't see it, Josh. Doesn't make sense.
That's definitely a surprising one. I will agree with you there. My most surprising was Keenan Allen. After they dropped Mike Williams, you thought for sure, oh, well, they'll keep Keenan Allen around. He was Justin Herbert's favorite guy and was so dependable and reliable on third down, especially. So to see them just kind of let him go to the Bears is Very surprising. I did not see that one coming at all. Who is your most impactful?
And real quick, apparently there's a lot of quality at the wide receiver spot for the upcoming draft. There's a lot of that's supposed to be
well, and we touched on it last episode, or at least I did, where I think John Harbaugh or Jim Harbaugh has a huge advantage in the draft, having just come out of college, recruiting all these guys.
Yeah,
I think he knows he can find some really deep wide receiver talent in the draft, and that's why I made the move. But still, it's like, dude, your team is going to hinge on Justin Herbert having a great season. Don't get rid of his, dependable third down guy that he just looks for, throws it up to, hey, go make a play. It's hard to get that kind of trust in just 1 year with a rookie. So I don't know. That one was very surprising to me.
You don't hear Gus who's having a dream right now, do you? He's
dreaming.
He's
dreaming. Is he doing the phantom run?
He's dreaming. He's barking at something. So he's just in the barking phase right now. But
yeah, dude, I bet he's having a blast in that
dream.
Not
dreaming. He's running.
He's after a squirrel or something, dude.
All right, which move will be the most successful? I did mention this to you when it happened. For some reason, dude, this one stuck out to me. I really like it. I think it's a sneaky move by those Cincinnati Bengals picking up Zach Moss. I know they no more Joe Mixon. Where did he end up going? Because he got traded, correct?
He did.
Mr. Mixon, who didn't make our list.
Yeah, I forgot about.
You know what? Did he go to the fucking Texans?
I think it was the Texans.
That's
There's
right. Another one for the Texans. Lock it up. I mean, solid move. I like Joe Mixon, but Zach Moss was, really good last year as a backup running back for the Colts. So I just, and the Bengals, they love to run the ball.
They do.
They got a good mixture of pass and run there. They always seem to have a pretty solid O-line. So, I mean, you need to if you're going to be taking care of Joe Burrow. So, I mean, I don't know. That one sticks out to me. I feel very confident saying Zach Moss is going to have a very successful first season with the Cincinnati Bengals this upcoming year. So that's the one that sticks out to me the most. And again, it's just, just got that feeling. There's not really a whole lot to it, Josh. I mean, I could have easily gone, of course, with the Kirk Cousins to the Falcons, because that's an easy one. Of course, that's a huge, in terms of biggest upgrade out of all these moves, hands down, because the Falcons have had such poor quarterback play ever since getting rid of Matt Ryan. Probably don't agree with, $180 million, but Cousins has the best agent in football. But yes. I wanted to do something a little different other than pick Kirk Cousins. I do think he'll be successful there. But I keep an eye on Zach Moss with the Bengals.
Okay. Well, on that note, my most impactful is Kirk Cousins to the Falcons. I definitely think that it's the biggest upgrade by far, shipping out Desmond Ridder and upgrading to a Pro Bowl caliber guy. He's staying in a dome where he kind of excels. They're going to be playing a lot of 1:00 games. Kirk Cousins at 1:00 is that guy. And they've got a ton of weapons, right? Like, I think that he could have a monster season. And it's a weak division. That division is very, very winnable. So he's, getting out of a division that has the Packers and the Lions and going to a division where, the Bucks just won it. They're good, but they're not great. The Saints are trash. The Panthers are god awful. So I think it's a huge upgrade for both the team and the player, with Kirk Cousins going to the Falcons. And yeah, kind of a no-brainer, kind of an easy pick. A lot of people would agree, but had to throw it in there. So if you are paying attention, that means you should probably fade Zach Moss and Kirk Cousins on your fantasy teams. They are going to have something terrible happen to them or just have awful, awful seasons. All right, Brandon, you're most likely to fail. Who you got?
This one was hard. This one was tough. Usually I'm pretty good at pointing out who's going to suck and, and just be a waste of time and money. But yeah, I was going down the list and nothing really stuck out to me. So I had to make a decision though, Josh. I had to stick with it. The one that I ended up, that caught my eye was Gabe Davis to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who inked a 3-year, $39 million deal. I feel like his production was more a result of the pass happy offense of the Buffalo Bills, and Josh Allen, he was one of his favorite targets. So I think that one, he's not going to live up to that fat contract that he got down there in Jacksonville. He'll fade away. So draft Gabe Davis in your fantasy league.
Sleeper pick of the year.
Pro Bowl bound.
No, that is a really good one. You're right. That feels like a guy who's just going to fade into obscurity. My most likely to fail is Calvin Ridley to the Titans. That to me was such a head scratcher. I don't really know. Their offensive identity is going to be airing it out, apparently, and I don't know if Will Levis is the guy. He's shown some really good sparks last year, but it just seems like the Titans are a team with like no identity. I don't know how their coach is going to work out. Now they've got DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley, which is a fantastic 1-2 combo, but you almost feel like he's going to get lost in the sauce with all that. And I don't know, it just felt like such a weird move that it jumps out to me as one that's likely to just fall flat on its face. But again, look for a Pro Bowl season. Go ahead and draft him, scoop him up in your fantasy leagues because he's going to have a great year now that we said he's going to fail.
Now, quick thing I wanted to note on your behalf, Josh, because you didn't do it. When we did our quarterback predictions a few episodes back, you did. I mean, it looks like you might have already hit 2. I mean, you definitely already hit 1 with Russell Wilson signing with the Steelers. One of them, it's still, we'll see how things play out in terms of the final depth chart. But you made that sneaky pick with Gardner Minshew going to the Raiders, and he signed a 2-year contract. 25 mil. Jesus, they got money to spend.
And by the way, they shipped out Jimmy G. I don't know if you saw that, but Jimmy G, they shipped him to the Rams or something.
Yeah, it was the Rams. But I mean, I said that Bo Nix would be starting for the Raiders, and I still think they're definitely going to draft a player, but that doesn't necessarily mean whoever they draft will be starting week 1. And that was the discussion. So, you already got your 1. I had Wilson going to the Vikings, which I feel like Vikings probably should have done more in trying to encourage him to go there because they look confused at quarterback now without Cousins. And then I had Cousins going to the Steelers. So, that's just 0 for 2 right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't want to pat myself on the back too much, right? Like those, I'm glad you brought it up because it is nice to be right when you're so often just dreadfully wrong. But yeah, the Gardner Minshew one just was, saw the name, saw the team, and thought, oh, that could be a thing. And the Russell Wilson to the Steelers, I was on that before anybody. And then it was just a few weeks after there was like trade rumor, rumors swirling. And it was like, ooh, could I be right about that? Feels good. But yeah, as far as I think I have Bo Nix to the Broncos is what I said. So I'd love to see that work out too.
Yep. A lot of talk too about them keeping a close eye on him during his pro day. And that, you feel like, what the fuck are the Broncos going to do? Because I had Justin Fields getting traded to the Broncos, which again, that's a bold one because he just doesn't seem like a Sean Payton type guy. But makes you wonder too, what the hell are the Bears doing? I mean, the longer they wait with Fields, the less value he is really, right? So
I think that they were probably shopping him around and couldn't get anything for him. If I had to guess. You know what I mean? Like they probably didn't want to send him to the Vikings, right? I get it. Keep him out of the division. Yeah. So that's how Sam Darnold ended up going to the Vikings and looks like he'll be their week 1 starter, which is just a weird one to me. But it's like all these teams that need a quarterback and Justin Fields still sitting there. I don't know if the Bears are asking too much. I don't know if the Bears just are, they have him way overvalued, or if teams are saying, dude, I don't even care if you're going to give us Justin Fields for a steal, we don't want him. So definitely something to keep an eye on, because if he stays there, then do they draft a quarterback, or do they just keep, because they've been building that fucking roster, right? Like now with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, like they've got really good wide receiver talent. They've got good tight ends. Like maybe they're just going to roll the dice and say, we're going to build a kick-ass roster for Justin Fields, draft, I don't know, Marvin Harrison or something to make it an insane wide receiver trio. Who knows, though? I think they're just asking for too much, and teams are saying no, thank you.
Yeah, I just can't see him playing, starting again for the Bears next season. I mean,
yeah, neither can I.
But I'd love to know what the fans think. The old Chicago faithful, do they want him back, or are they ready to turn the page and move on? I have no idea.
My guess is you'd probably be like 80-20 split. 80% want to go with a new guy, but you have the 20% that are like, well, it's not his fault. It's, we didn't put a good team around him.
But I bought this jersey, and I don't want to have to put it in the closet and never wear it again.
Exactly. The 20% of fans that bought the jersey and don't want to spend money on a new one. Yeah. That's exactly
been there, done that. We know how that goes.
You got that Patrick Ramsey jersey still?
I had my RG3 jersey. I gave it away. I gave it to Anderson. It's like, get this thing out of my fucking house. I don't want this anymore.
So he has a Chad Pennington and RG3. That
Chad
makes
Pennington,
sense.
His favorite. That's the one he actually has framed, and it's autographed and framed. So it's sitting over his fireplace.
So did we cover did we do a good job covering free agency? I would say so.
I think it's pretty solid, man.
Yeah, I think we did. I think we covered it pretty in depth. I think, time will tell. I think we did a great job.
There were plenty other moves. Okay. We just,
there's hundreds of moves, but
were we going to talk about Sam Darnold to the Vikings? No. Were we going to talk about Mason Rudolph to the Titans? Absolutely not. Sam Howell did get traded to the Seahawks. That's not necessarily free agency move, but that's very telling, because when the Redskins picked up Marcus Mariota, I was like, what the hell are they? They're not going to start the season with 3 quarterbacks. So what's their plan here? But Sam Howell, fresh start for him. Good for him. Hopefully he gets a shot at competing for the starting role. I think he'll be a backup to Geno Smith is my bet. But I think we did a good job. I think we covered it. And outside of that,
all right. Next on the docket, next on the docket, we've got to talk some college basketball, because you've got all the conference finals going on today. Oh wait, what's that? We're not prepared for that at all. All right, all right.
Okay, yeah, we got nothing prepared for college basketball.
But be on the lookout for a new and improved bracket special this year.
St. Patrick's Day is Selection Sunday, though. Yes. So the bracket special will be coming up next week. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. We have a lot of kinks to work out, okay? But we're going to come up with a perfect formula this time, okay? We're going to make sure that it's smooth. In fact, we might just jump right into the Elite Eight. Who knows? But we're going to figure something out to help expedite the process.
Elite Eight. I like that. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll have a good one. So stay tuned for that. And then, I mean, there's some golf news. We're not talking about golf. I'm very bitter on golf this week. So I think we should just jump right into our BRASH official world rankings. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. The BRASH official world rankings this week. We're going to be ranking our top 5. How do you say it? Top 5 best things that are green.
Yeah, green things. Top 5 green things.
Okay, yeah. Let's take it. Sticking with the season. Tis the season.
Yeah,
tis the season of green. So let's get right to it. Okay, your BRASH official world rankings, top 5 green things. This was interesting. Talk about something you never really think about until you were put to the test, Josh. Somebody gives you the task. You will rank your top 5 favorite green things, and you will do it now. Okay. And then you record it and you'll put that shit on YouTube. So there's a lot of pressure when ranking your top 5 green things. But I feel pretty solid. I've looked over my list a few times, made a few changes here and there. But let's start off with our number 5, Josh. What do you got as your number 5 green thing?
Well, my number 5 green thing is something that could have been way higher on my list in my late
same
teens.
Way about my 5.
Yeah, late teens, early 20s. This thing would be probably number 1, but I had to leave it on the list, even though I don't really enjoy it anymore. That would
never mind.
Clearly, we're on different pages with it. But my number 5 thing is marijuana. I think it's a very good green thing. Just because I don't really do it anymore doesn't mean that it's not still a good thing. People use it for health benefits. I love stoner culture. I love like stoner movies, stoner music, all that stuff. That wouldn't be possible without the help of marijuana. So for that reason, they made the list. I don't do it anymore. Just for any, cops listening, I don't smoke marijuana anymore, but it had to be on the top list of green things. Like, and again, if I'm 19 years old, it's number 1.
You're right. You're right. And it's funny. I partake. I'm a huge fan. Didn't make my list.
Wow, that's surprising.
I was too stoned. It didn't even cross my mind. I didn't. It's right there in front of me.
Yeah, that's a stoner move right there.
That is such a stoner move. But hey, I'm really happy you remembered that, because had we both not mentioned it, I would have felt ashamed that it didn't even get a mention. But yeah, my number 5, it's a thing of fairy tale, a thing of legend. It doesn't exist, Josh. This is a fictional thing, but it is just extremely popular in pop culture. It's a legend from many century ago, all around the world, comes in all types of different forms. You and I are huge fans of it. Number 5 green thing would be dragons. That's right, dragons. Yes, you didn't see that coming, did you?
I did not see that. And I was trying to picture, I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
Dragons
That's a great one.
They don't exist, but you feel like they should. And they're just badass. I mean, who doesn't like a good dragon? So, and the thing is, they can come in all types of different colors. They don't have to be green, but the traditional dragon is green.
Of course they're green, dude. Of course they're green.
You got Spyro the dragon, right? I mean, he's not green, but he's still
purple.
He's still pretty, a special place in my heart. But yeah, just dragons number 5 had to make the list.
That didn't even make my honorable mention. Dude, it's the year of the dragon. We're both dragons, and I left dragons off. That is a bad look. That is a bad look for Team Josh. Oh boy. All right. Moving on to my number 4. I know you love this one, and I think that this probably made your list too. If dragons made the list, I hope this made the list too, because it's the only fictional thing I have on my list, and that would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They are the coolest green thing ever, dude. They have
that is an awesome one. I'll be honest, didn't make my list, but that is awesome, dude. God,
dude,
there's a lot I missed the boat on. Okay.
Oh, sure, dude. But TMNT, man, talk about something that helped forge our youth, turn us into the kick-ass adults we are today. What a great premise. What a just awesome. The movies in the early 90s are great. The cartoon was the best thing ever. The video games were fucking sweet. The action figures were the best. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. Also, if you mix vodka, orange juice, and a little blue curacao, you make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle drink, and it's delicious. And when you're 18 years old, you get fucking hammered on those, and it's appropriate for St. Patrick's Day. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, dude, had to have them on the list in my number 4 spot.
Yeah, you throwing out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles really makes my list look blah. It looks boring now after Dragons.
Yes,
it gets pretty boring. But no, I mean, I was thinking more of like things of importance in my life. Okay. And in this case, number 4, I think this is important in everybody's life. And let me explain. Number 4, I went with jungles. Okay. Jungles are extremely important. Okay, they provide us with oxygen, and without it, we're fucked. And plus, who doesn't love a good jungle? Jungles bring all types of really cool creatures. They just
Coolest
look badass.
Animals, yeah.
Would I want to take a riverboat trip, down the Amazon? Probably not. There's a lot of bugs down there, and I don't like them. Yeah. But a lot of big ass snakes too. I don't know if you've seen Anaconda, but I want no part of that. But jungles, I like from afar. I like to look at them. Love watching them on TV. Give me jungles at number 4.
That's a great one. That is a great one.
Jungle Boogie, just throwing it out there.
Jungle Boogie, one of the best songs ever. Jungle Book is my favorite Disney movie. So, dude, Jungles. That's a great one, man. Not on my radar. Not even an honorable mention. Jungles.
Again, you don't know what you're going to come up with
you really list. Don't. Number 3 for me. There were a lot of green foods that there's a lot of delicious green things. And I couldn't have more than one on my top 5 just because there's so many great things that are green.
I kind of did, but whatever.
You did? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But my number 3 thing is my favorite green thing to eat. And those are avocados. Because guacamole fucking rules. You add avocado to just about anything, it makes it better. They're fatty and hearty and delicious. They're good for you. The world would suck a little bit more than it already does if there were no avocados for us to enjoy. So avocados had to make my list. They're one of my favorite green things ever. I just bought some more this morning. I eat one almost every day. They're fucking great. Love avocados.
Solid pick. This is where our lists are kind of going to get a little bit more similar here in our top 3, I believe. I do have a couple edible items that are green.
Okay.
And number 3, it had to make my list. I went with jalapenos. I am a sucker for the jalapeno pepper. It's probably, if I picked a peck, it would be jalapeno peppers. Okay. And yes, they got to be pickled because who eats a raw jalapeno? What kind of psychopath are you? But I could eat them straight out of the jar. I love jalapenos, man. It had to make my list. And so there you have it. Jalapenos, number 3.
That was the first one that you mentioned that made my honorable mentions. That is not in my top 5. So yeah, jalapenos are fucking great. And another one where you want to add it to just about anything and make it better. All right. Yeah. Especially pickled jalapenos are fucking, so good.
Jalapenos on quesadilla, just saying.
Oh, dude. Love it. Love it. Love it. Number 2 is something that is a little out there. It's something I had to really think about, but something that I fucking love. And a lot of that's being, a dad and a former homeowner. I'm renting an apartment now, so I don't get to enjoy this thing as much, but a freshly mowed lawn. Tell me, dude, when you drive past one and you see it and it's beautiful and you get that smell of freshly cut grass, dude, there are just not many things better especially as a suburban white kid than a freshly mowed lawn. And I would love it on Sundays, dude, going out there with my little mower, mowing my lawn, and then taking a step back and just looking at it and appreciating it, the lines, the smells. Love a freshly mowed lawn. Had to be in my number 2 spot and a strong contender, honestly, for number 1. It's one of my favorite things.
I like it a lot. I kind of had a feeling you were going to have that somewhere on your list because of a conversation we had earlier today. Yeah. So I purposely didn't go in that direction. Okay. But didn't matter. You stole my thunder anyway with my number 2 pick because you mentioned avocado as your number 3. And I have guacamole as my number 2. Yeah. I just went straight guac.
Sure.
Fuck the police. We're just gonna call it for what it is. Yes, I love avocado. Okay, by itself, but to me, it's all about the guac. All about that guac. And I mean, guacamole had to be. I mean, it was funny ranking them because first I just put a list together and then I put the numbers. And I had to revise it. Guac skyrocketed up to number 2 because
so good.
It's so damn good. I don't eat it enough. But yeah, there you have it. And I'm making honorable mentions right now as we speak. But guacamole, what else could you possibly say? If you haven't tried it yet, do yourself a favor, take a scoop.
I had a friend that back in North Carolina that would not try guacamole because it like looked weird. And they said, I won't like it. I was like, what are you, fucking 5? That's something a 5-year-old would say. You put this on your fucking chip and take a bite. It's amazing. Like, nah, it looks weird. Like, ugh. Fuck that person. I should really cut them out of my life. Number 1, I feel like we're going to have the same number 1. I feel like it was building and building and building to this moment. It's the best thing in the world. It's cash money. Yes! It's cash. Of course, it's cash money. And I didn't put cash. I didn't put money. I put cash money.
See, I was going to say cash money, but I wrote down money. I was definitely going to say cash money.
Good. Because that's like the greenest thing there is. It's the best when you have, even if you're dead broke, like let's say you have, I don't know, $200 in the bank, right? You're a certified broke ass motherfucker. If you pull that $200 out and put it in cash, you feel like you're fucking rich. You're a richy rich. And it's just the best, dude. Holding cold hard cash and
the crisp dollar bills, super crisp. Those are my favorite.
Dollar bills, or like when you're at a strip club or a casino and you're just letting those things fly, dude. There's no better feeling. Nothing compares, and it also buys all the other stuff that's on this list.
Yes, so it's the ultimate money gets you all these things, except for jungles and dragons. But other than that, you can get all these other things.
Yeah, dude. So cash money. I'm glad we're in agreement. I figured we would be. There's nothing better than it.
All right, honorable mentions. Just spitballing here, right? Okay. I didn't really, again, there's a lot that I'm gonna forget. Geckos. Who doesn't love geckos? Come on. I used to have a gecko as a kid. I think they're cool little lizards. I mean, they're fun.
And the Geico commercials are pretty good.
John Deere tractors, never had one.
Oh,
solid honorable mention.
That wasn't on my list. That's a great one, dude. That's a great one.
Who doesn't who can't admire a nice, clean John Deere tractor?
Love it.
And these other two kind of go hand in hand. Okay. I went mint chip ice cream, which of course leads to the Shamrock Shake. So there you have it. Those are my 4 honorable mentions.
That's pretty good. So I did have mint. I'll get my food out of the way. Mint, just in general, like mint chocolate chip ice cream, of course, is better than just eating a little piece of mint. But like, think about if there was no mint flavored toothpaste, right? Or mint gum. If all you had was if all you had was Juicy Fruit and Big Red, gum would kind of suck, right? You need that minty mint. So mint, jalapenos, and I've green apple Jolly Ranchers on my honorable mentions because I didn't really like them as a kid, but now they're like maybe my favorite Jolly Rancher. They're so good. I also have dinosaurs, even though we can't prove that they're green, but they're green.
Come on,
right? They're green.
There was definitely a green dinosaur. I mean, we don't know exactly which one, but there had to have been. They came in all different shapes and sizes and colors. So yeah.
So dinosaurs are on there. Green lights. I actually had in my top 5 and removed it. Dude, tell me there's anything better than when you're driving down the road and you're just hitting green light after green light after green light.
That is a good one.
And also, like, if someone gives you the green light to do something, like, that's just a great thing. Like, and there's the worst thing is red lights. So you have the opposite of that. Green light probably should have been in my top 5, but really hard to find space for it. I also have Yoshi and Luigi are both green things.
Yes.
I fucking love. Forgot about them. Another food, cucumbers and pickles. Fucking delicious. I love cucumbers. I love pickles. And then I have frogs on my list. Kind of like your gecko. I think frogs are cool as shit.
Can't go wrong with frogs.
And
frogs
then my
turtles, right?
I do have a dishonorable mention, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. Fuck them.
Damn, dishonorable. If I had a little bit more time, I'd be able to come up with a good one. But yeah, nothing comes up when I think a dishonorable mention for green. But I'm sure there's plenty out. Gangrene, there's one.
Yeah. Don't want that. Don't want gangrene. No. You do not want that.
All right. Well, yeah, I'd say it's pretty damn good.
I'd say we fucking knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Real quick, I'm surprised you didn't have Mountain Dew. I thought you were a Mountain Dew fan. That's green, right?
I didn't. Yeah, that could have been. That's an honorable mention for sure. It doesn't crack my top 5. Again, if I'm like 19 years old, my top 5 are number 1 marijuana, number 2 Mountain Dew. It's like what a combo that is, right?
You're right. You're right.
But yeah, no, I didn't have it on my radar. I should have. I just never drink soda anymore, so I didn't even think about it. But that's a great one. Mountain Dew should be on there. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. That's St. Patrick's Day special for you.
Dude, I need a beer now. I feel like now it's officially time to go grab a Guinness, grab a Harp.
City's about to play Newcastle in the FA Cup, so I'm gonna need to. I need to take my dog out, and then I'm probably gonna scoop up some beer. But now I feel like all this green stuff. Now I'm totally in the green mood. I need to get the stuff for some guac. Is what I need to do now.
Can you believe I almost threw all of these out, Brandon? Can you believe it? Thank God I held on to them and moved them to 3 different states.
There you go. You go. You got to find a special place for them. Don't ever throw them away, Josh, because you never know when we're going to have another St. Patrick's Day special. They're going to come into play. So,
yeah, you definitely can't find beads like this anywhere around St. Patrick's Day.
No, all right, you can't go to Five Below.
Let's call it a fucking day, dude.
All right, my friend. I appreciate it.
A day. What an episode.
That was fun. Good stuff. Again, thanks for everyone for tuning in. Happy St. Paddy's, and we'll catch you next week for our bracketology special.
All right. Later, buddy.
All right.
Peace.